Hello and welcome to a very special cover story conversation. I have with me one of my favorite guests, Suhel Seth, commentator. He's a marketing maven and a political columnist. Suhail, good to have you on the show. It's the end of the year
Thank you
and
so
we're doing
much.
our year-ender over here. So let's take a look at the year gone by, Suhail. It's been quite a tumultuous year in terms of geopolitics, but also first let's just focus on back home. How have you seen the year in terms of domestic politics?
I think it's more of the same. There's more rage, there's more anguish, there's more indecisiveness. The Congress still doesn't have its act together. The BJP is on a winning spree. The BJP also, on its own part, makes stupid comments. More recently, this councillor Renu Chaudhary from Delhi, who attacks an African football coach for not being able to speak Hindi as if she can speak Swahili. So, the idiots continue to abound. The politicians are in denial about AQI. It is a shame what the Supreme Court has inflicted on the Aravalis. So, a lot of good has happened, but, to quote Shakespeare, the evil lives long after, and the good is oft interred with the bones. And I think, with what the Prime Minister is doing in terms of traction, the way he's handled Donald J. Trump, all good, signs. But
Hmm.
there is no will to curb this irresponsible behavior and irresponsible statements from people, which bring shame to Brand India. These are not statements that are needed in a country that is aiming to become the world's third largest economy. And I think this kind of behavior now needs the Prime Minister's intervention. It needs to be reined in. Political discourse is at an all-time low. Rahul Gandhi continues to be like a bull in both China and Germany and United States shops. So I feel sad because a democracy is only vibrant when there's an opposition that is equally vibrant. The opposition is in disarray. The India Alliance people are abusing each other publicly. So there's no coming together of political forces against the BJP. And it's bad for the BJP. The BJP can't be in both denial and allow hubris and arrogance to set in, where they believe that they're invincible. And they believe that most of the time. So a lot of good, a lot of
Hmm.
bad, but the bad is manageable bad. It's not deathly, but it will hurt the DNA of Brand India if we aren't careful.
Okay, well, let's just also take a look at something else that's happened in the BJP is the election of the new president. It has been, on the cards and overdue for, ever since even before the 24 elections. And yet, when they pick someone, they pick a non-entity, they pick a dynast. So, is this also part of the overconfidence that we don't need any other brand name other than Modi? They're not planning ahead either.
See, I think it's very clear that the BJP has learned a trick or two from the Congress. The Congress has the family, BJP has the
Hmm.
Prime Minister and Amit Shah, which, by the way, is fine. See, I'm a great believer, and I have distaste for all political parties. The Prime Minister and Amit Shah are delivering as a political party. They're winning elections, they're increasing their tallies in states where they were hitherto absent. Look at what's happened in the Zilla Parishad elections in Goa, for instance. So, my feeling is that the Congress and its allies now need to step up to the plate. See, the point is Rahul Gandhi raises issues, but he doesn't follow through with them. There is no consistency of follow up. And just when the issue is becoming a hot potato, even for the government to handle, he disappears. So people say, wow, he's flagged an issue, but he's not there to sustain it. On the other hand, Priyanka Gandhi, Vadra,
Yeah.
is making a mark for herself in a more unique manner. She's developing outreach, she's reaching out to people within the party. And that's going to be another conundrum that the Congress will have to face sooner rather than later.
That's well, you're the right person to pose this question to. After Arun Jaitley, we were all saying there is no one to do back channeling, no one to, be a bridge between the government and the opposition. Do you see Priyanka having tea with the Prime Minister, maybe from the Congress side? No, she can take him on in Parliament. She was the face off with the Parliament, Prime Minister and her. But when it came to, that Tea Party reaching out to Gadkari, she can do both. She can do the social niceties, and in politics, you need to be politically social also. So do you see maybe Priyanka from this side, and who from that side? Is it
I
Riju? Is
think
it?
from that side could be Kiran Rijiju, who has a good, amiable personality, and he's the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. It could
Yeah,
also be Piyush Goyal. See, you
correct.
need people, or Hardeep Puri. These are the only three names.
Yeah, all three
You need,
valid.
you need people who are amiable, who have a persona that's easygoing. See, why was Arun Jaitley successful? A, he was people like us. B, he may have, different thoughts, but he never appeared to be rabid. He was never cantankerous, and he was never rude. He used sarcasm and satire as his tools of communication. And people,
Having been on the receiving end, yes, I
yeah,
agree.
and people loved that. He was a great parliamentarian. So even in Parliament, when he made his points, the points were laced both with facts and with humor. That
Hmm.
Jaitley is no longer there, sadly. And the Congress doesn't have, I mean, the BJP doesn't have someone who they can depend on, but who also has the confidence of the Prime Minister Amit Shah. See, when Jaitley said something, no one believed that he said it without prime ministerial
Yeah,
sanction.
okay.
Or if he said it, it's not that the Prime Minister would sharply or violently disagree. So his word had a lot of gravitas, it had a lot of structure. That is missing. And that the BJP now, to my mind, needs to develop. See, the BJP has established two things. One is they are unstoppable, and B, that they are now in a position of actually reaching out. Look, Jaitley famously said the business of running parliament, is the government's. So just
Hmm.
follow his adage. You can't keep blaming the opposition. But
Right.
it's the government's business to run parliament. If parliament is not being run, there is a lot of give and take. Politics is the art of doing the impossible. And sometimes that stretches to doing impossible behavioral things, reaching out in a manner that you suppress your ego and then go out. That's what, to my mind, BJP needs to do. They need to invest in maturity, they need to invest in magnanimity, and they need to invest in outreach. If they do these three, it'll be a different party and it'll be seen differently.
Very well said. No, in fact, when the parliament session began, I saw the Prime Minister's opening statement before he entered the House, and he fired the first salvo. He accused the opposition of doing drama, and he mocked at them. He said, "Ek election haar gayo, ab dukh se get over it," and all that. That was the note to set fire, and the opposition took the bait. They should have said, "ठीक है, we'll take you on the floor of the House." They just erupted, and the dialogue was lost, and this barb started. So this is not the kind of beginning you want, really.
See, for Narendra Modi, who's been in India's parliament for 11 years now, 2014, we're 2000 at the end of 2025.
Hmm.
He has become an astute parliamentarian. He
Huh.
knows how to bait them, he knows how to suppress them. He uses oratory. Sometimes you may disagree with some of the words, but he has established himself to be a very astute parliamentarian. So he knows what will irritate them, he knows how to goad them, and they fall for the bait. My
Yeah.
point is, Priya, they've got some great parliamentarians on their side. I've always said that Rahul Gandhi, you may disagree with him, you may do whatever. His speeches in parliament are not bad at all. Priyanka's are not bad at all. Shashi Tharoor, not bad at all. Sanjay Jha, we've got some very, Sanjay Singh, Manoj Jha. These are great parliamentarians. But somehow they don't get the focus. I'm not even commenting on, the rabid lot within the opposition. That's for the opposition to decide. But you've got
Hmm.
some excellent parliamentarians, Jairam Ramesh. These are people who can actually make a very effective statement. And now, if you look at
That's
the BJP, other than the following, to my mind, Narendra Modi, Amit Shah was outstanding in his response in the winter session. Outstanding. Nishikant Dubey, again, following the prime ministerial strategy, very well researched on facts, and again, pin pokes, he pokes holes, he goads them, he baits them. Hardeep Puri, Piyush Goyal, these are good parliamentarians. Why are they
Hmm.
not being used now to establish a back channel? Why are they not being used to establish a tunnel of reciprocity, a tunnel of hope, and a tunnel of unity? The problem is, in the good old days, Priya, and you know this the best, politicians may have disagreed in public, but they were civil in private. Today, they disagree in public and in private. That's not required. You know what Rahul Gandhi did along with Kalyan Banerjee about Jagdeep Dhankar was uncivil. It didn't stand the test of decency. It was unnecessary. It achieved nothing.
In fact, you saw what happened. That's another question I wanted to ask you. Is you saw how these MPs were trolled because there was a cross-party. They all were dancing at Naveen Jindal's wedding. There was Priya Sahgal with Kangana Ranaut and
And why
other
not?
parties.
Why not? Let's
But
imagine.
they got trolled on social media as well.
But stupid. Let's imagine Parliament is akin to an office.
Huh.
We have colleagues. They're all colleagues. If I, as Naveen Jindal, asked a Maua or a Supriya Sule or a Kangana to come and dance at my daughter's wedding, it is a means, to my mind, of extended civility, of enhanced civility. It shows that you may have different political ideologies, but at the heart of it, we're all human beings. And we can, if called upon to participate in a family function, we can and we will. What is the point of trolling? So see, also the trollers, Priya, 99% of them are anonymous, voiceless, senseless idiots. For them, it is the joy of being abusive that heightens their day. So, you don't care. Never engage with a pig. You get dirty, but the pig loves it. That's how you should treat trollers.
But not that I'm defending them, but there is a feeling that you guys are the politicians are so abusive to each other in Parliament, and there is a no holds barred, and then people and their followers start fighting with each other. It's not just they're fighting; their camp followers are also fighting with each other, and suddenly they see, अरे ये लोग तो इकट्ठे नाच रहे हैं और हम एक दूसरे को गाली दे रहे हैं.
Which is a good thing. You see, they must be able to tell people that, you idiots, we are fine. Who are you? You know that old saying of being more loyal than the king himself. The point, Priya, is civil discourse in this country has vanished. It has vanished because of a lack of education. It has vanished because of an enhanced politics of identity. When we were growing up in Calcutta, we never discussed religion, politics, or sex. Never. These were not taboo, but they were irrelevant to the larger mindscape that you possessed. Why? Because you were enhanced and embellished by education, by the arts. You discussed, Rag Malhar. You discussed Badal Sarkar's plays. You discussed Jatra. You discussed Satyajit Ray's trilogy. Today, the whole bloody country is going nuts over Dhurandhar. What's the film name? Dhurandhar. Whatever it is. I haven't seen the film. Dhurandhar. Whole world, there's that. Why? And
because the Parliament went nuts over a dog. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what they were discussing.
Now, Aditya Dhar, the filmmaker, is allowed to make any film he chooses to make, as long as it doesn't violate the principles of the Indian Censor Board. How does it matter? We are becoming, and I hate to use this word because I never imagined we would, we are becoming disagreeable when all we need to do is disagree. And disagreeable is a negative thought. Disagree can be tamed by dissension and debate. Disagreeability is a behavioral flaw that requires, to my mind, either human training or human correction.
Very well said. I'm going to take a break and come back. And also after the break, Suhel, I'm going to do a little bit of a rapid fire with you on the highs and lows of the year, but after a quick break. So stay with us. This is going to be fun. Hello and welcome back to a cover story conversation with Suhel Seth, and we take a look at the year that was and the highs and lows of it. But Suhel, there's also, some of the markers of the year. And if I may have you, it's a rapid fire, but I'd like you to elaborate also because, you're a good one with all the one-liners. So I'm going to take a little bit more time on that. So I've got a couple of questions lined up for you. So if you're ready, let's go ahead.
Absolutely.
So in your view, who is the newsmaker of the year?
I think the Newsmaker of the Year is by no question Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Because in the political framework, she has created two things. One is an outreach with the BJP, but two, she is the more benign Kamraj for the Congress. You watch what will happen. You're already seeing polarization within the Congress party. And I'm a great believer that a manthan or a churning of this kind always replaces the poison with the nectar. So in many ways, she's the Newsmaker of the Year because she has stood course, a 1-year-old parliamentarian, created a mark for herself with dignity, with civility, with decency, and yet followed through on the outreach. So in my book, the Newsmaker of the Year.
Priyanka Gandhi. Wow, that's a really good one. But if she's the nectar, who's the poison?
I think, I don't want to use the word poison. I think the poison is the group of people across all the aisles, political aisles, who are continuously dividing India on caste, creed, religion, who are spewing hatred. And these people, mark my words, Priya, we are a country which is a civilization legacy. People will take this only this much and no more. So those people will be isolated. It may take time, but their isolation is for certain.
I hope so. Disaster of the year.
AQI and Rekha Gupta, in that order. Rekha Gupta, to be fair to her, okay, you've been in power since February 2025, which is 11 months, but her attitude towards Delhi, the lack of apology and the sense of denial was appalling. When Rekha Gupta came to power, people expected more out of the BJP. Rekha Gupta, no one knew about or cared about, but they realized that the BJP would take Delhi seriously. So yes, Delhi, AQI, and Rekha Gupta are disasters of the year.
Of the year. Game changer of the year, is that the same as Newsmaker, or do you have a different?
No, I think the game changer of the year, and I've said it in a podcast recently, is Yogi Adityanath. And I'll tell
But
you
he
why.
hasn't done this year.
Huh?
He hasn't done anything this year.
You'd be surprised. So what has happened is, and I work with corporates, more and more industry has begun to invest in Uttar Pradesh. The law and order situation has seriously improved. Number three, for a person like Yogi Adityanath, who heads India's most populous state, he has maintained a low flying radar height. So that in itself requires a lot of deft handling. And I know you're going to ask me who's the best CM. As a corollary, he would be the best CM too. Because what he's ensured is that there will be a place for good governance, no matter what the associations are. And remember, when in 2017 he came to power, all of us thought, what will this saffron wearing, Baba do? But he's changed the rules. He's changed the rules of the game. More and more people are going to UP to invest. More and more people are traveling there. His problem, and even the other thing, which a lot of people don't know, this one district, one product, these ODOP, is a phenomenal thing. Also remember, this is the year of the Kumbh Mela. Other than that fire disaster, it was managed brilliantly. It was managed brilliantly. The largest collection of humanity in one area. So you have to give the man credit for running the most populous state, flying under the radar, and yet delivering, even though no one had given him the benefit of doubt.
Fair enough. But you've said the best CM. Who's the worst CM of the year? Who's performed the worst this year?
I think the worst chief minister in India by far is M.K. Stalin. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, right.
I'll tell you why. I had a lot of hope in Stalin. Why? Because he comes from a fine pedigree. See, I'm not judging the man. I'm judging the performance.
Fair enough.
Today, Chennai or Tamil Nadu is not the cynosure of all eyes qua investment, which it could have been. M.K. Stalin comes from a fine pedigree, very astute politically. His son is doing phenomenally well. I'm only commenting on the governance / performance aspect of M.K. Stalin, given the kind of intellect he has and the kind of potential that Tamil Nadu has. I'm not saying that he's a bad man. I'm saying that the kind of person he is and the kind of person he could be, there's a mismatch. So I really hope that Mr. Stalin will come to the fore. And I'm only commenting because I see the potential of Tamil Nadu and the people of Tamil Nadu to be exemplary. I'm not even getting into the politics, whether BJP is poking them, not doing that, blah, blah, blah. And to be fair to Stalin, the governor has been at war. But all said and done, here is a man one had a great amount of hope in. Or it could be that, there's no communication of the good that they've done.
Which has been the best and the worst policy decision of the Modi government this year?
I think the best policy decision has been to relax and rationalize the GST rates. The worst decision has been to tell the Supreme Court that the Aravalis only 100 meters and above will be treated as hills. I think it is disastrous. The Aravalis are 2 billion years old. They are the eco chamber and the eco lungs of our country. What the government has done through its committees is shoddy, shameful, and despicable, to say the least.
You can share with us what has been the most enjoyable conversation you had this year. With whom?
With you.
No arguments from me. And the most boring conversation or the most boring event you attended?
Actually, I'll be honest, I don't have boring events because if it's boring, I walk away. I'm more of a Kenny Rogers fan. Whenever you see trouble, you walk away. So, I don't think conversations per se are boring. The problem is we fail, A, to listen, and B, we fail to engage. And as I've said in my book as well, if you want to be interesting, you have to be interested. So, I mean, you may meet a bore or two, but I've never come away saying, oh my God, what a miserable evening. I always make the best out of it.
So who you learned the most or had the most, biggest takeaway from which conversation?
Oh, that I've had many. I've had zillion takeaways from N. Chandrasekaran, the chairman of Tata Sons. And I'll tell you why. When the horrific crash of AI 171 happened on the 12th of June, it was a tumultuous time, both for him and for the House of Tata. And the way he came across was admirable. And I remember him saying, and he said it later on television in an interview, he said, look, I can't be J.R.D. Tata, I can't be Ratan Tata. I will be myself, but I will be guided by the principles of the founders, qua the values of the Tata Group. And I thought that was very, very poignant. It was a sign of great leadership. And it was a sign of, moving the needle in terms of how you want to be treated and how you want to treat people. I've often had multiple conversations with Mukesh Ambani. In every conversation, you learn, but these have not been very long conversations. The other person I've learned a lot from is my 6-year-old child. And Gayatri has taught me the virtues of patience, the virtues of reading aloud, and bringing back theater into my life. So she is now my protege in terms of theater. And I think that has been the most warming part of my old age, as it were.
That is indeed wonderful to hear, really, on that. And the last 2-3 questions is, what has been your most, I have a couple of more. The motor mouth of the year.
I love her, but she's unstoppable, Renuka Chaudhary. But see,
but
Renuka
she's great
doesn't
fun.
have a backbone. The problem is a lot of people misunderstand her. Renuka is not a bad human being, but she cannot stop talking. The only advantage that she has is she's never, ever vindictive, full of vendetta or vicious. There are many politicians who say stupid things with a view to hurt or hate, not Renuka.
Most underrated performer of the year, political.
Nitish Kumar, until he won. He was totally underrated. If you remember, as we were running up to the elections, people were commenting commenting on his health. People were commenting on, saying he may have Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, blah, blah, blah. He has shown you how guile, machinations, manipulation, and astuteness, when blended together in a nice political smoothie, work wonders. So from a political standpoint, he was underrated, but he outperformed. Go back, Priya, and you've done this better than most people. Everyone thought Tejasvi Yadav would be the dark horse. He wasn't even on the race course. That was the astuteness with which Nitish Kumar played his hand. And hats off to him.
Fair enough. Lastly, which are the books that you've read that you would have made an impact, or you would recommend this year, and movies, books and movies?
So movies, The House of Dynamite, It All Happens Here. I see a lot of Netflix series and Amazon series, and those have been fantastic. Killing Eve, but the two I will recommend are Landman, which is a series, and Yellowstone. Outstanding.
Yes.
Outstanding. Books, I do a book a day. Right now, as we speak, I'm reading Amitav Ghosh's Ghost Eye, which is fantastic. Roman Narzik is someone I would tell every young, old, middle-aged person to read. He is a resident of Australia, one of the world's finest philosophers, and I think people should read him. I've continued to read King Lear because I'm thinking of staging the play next year. And I want to revisit King Lear because I want to revisit the character. I want to revisit the compulsions of age along with a very complex family battle. So
I'm going to look forward to that. Where will you stage it?
Well, I'm thinking of staging it all over the world, but it's still work in progress because I will make it out. I mean, I will do it as a solo performance with all the other characters being voices that will get on stage.
That is something definitely I'm going to look forward to. But thank you so much, Suhel, for this conversation and for being with us. Wish you a very happy New Year. Where are you on the New Year's?
In Goa with my wife and child, and some nice ghar ka khana. And that's about it.
That's a good way to spend the year. Thank you so much, Suhel, for this one. I wish you a happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.